Hey guys, and welcome back to another League of Legends video. Today I actually have, I think, a unique topic and a very cool video with a lot of interesting information. We're going to be looking at the top 10 champions and how they increase after you play them for more than 50 games. So these champion statistics just skyrocket after you've played 50 or more games on them. This list is indeed in order, starting off with the smallest scalable difference from 0 games to 50 games, and ending up with some insane statistical differences with the more experienced players. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content, and let's get into it. So the first champion we're going to be talking about is actually Skarner, and his numbers aren't that bad. They're pretty good off the get-go. With only one important skill shot, he's not that hard to use. His experience actually scales with knowledge. Knowing exactly how to utilize his abilities is super important in a team environment. Skarner has a 52.8% win rate, and the more veteran Skarner players after 50 games rise all the way up to a 57.6% win rate, a 4.8% increase, or to round up, a 5% increase just based on playing him for 50 games. That's pretty insane. Our second champion is one that actually took me by surprise, as we have Mr. Tahm Kench. Now, Tahm Kench, as a champion himself, his scalability mainly comes from his W and his ultimate, which are both very strong team play abilities. The more experience you have on him, the better you'll utilize them in more and more situations. When to get someone out, when to use it to initiate, how to use your ultimate properly. I mean, it's all about positioning, so it's no surprise. Tahm Kench's win rate is at a measly 45%, but scales up to a 50.3%, which is a full 5% increase. Not too bad for 50 games and a lot of practice. The third champion we're going to be talking about is Gangplank. So he's a very special champion to learn. Love him or hate him, he can be a little bit controversial. I believe most of his scaling comes from his barrel plays and how to position them, and I think we're going to find a trend in this video. Positioning, or a lot of things where the main core of the kit comes with a lot of knowledge more than mechanical skills. Regardless of the complexity of the kit, I feel that scaling comes with, when things are less straightforward than they seem. Gangplank has a win rate of 46.4%, but it scales up to 51.6, making it a total of 5.2% increase in win rate once you have some experience under your belt. At number 4, we have Udyr. So, you know what? Udyr is relatively easy, and I think a lot of his kit scales with, again, knowledge, but unlike the other ones, it's more so positioning at the right place at the right time. People who play Udyr, at least early on when I first tried him, I have a very straightforward mindset based off of some videos I watched. But Udyr is all about game knowledge. His kit is bare bones, so it's about being in the right place at the right time consistently. So Udyr is at a perfect 50% win rate, but scales up quite nicely to a 55.3% after you play more than 50 games with him. This champion also surprised me, but at number 5, we actually have Rengar. So, Rengar can be very hard to deal with. A good Rengar is super oppressive and will make your life a living hell, especially if you're an ADC main. I won't lie, I'm not too sure what scales with him when it comes to skill, but I'm going to assume like most other assassins, it comes to how well they can do their job in very chaotic situations. A good assassin will be able to do their job very well in team fights, and that assassin will most likely jump in, get CC'd, and died, and maybe Rengar has a bigger disparity than others, but at 48.8% win rate, he ain't that bad, but will scale up to 54.3% after 50 or more games, a total of a 5.4% increase in your win rate with some experience. At number 6, we actually have Qiyana, and to be honest, I pretty much expected this. Upon release, she was a very powerful individual, but some tuning later and her skill cap being decently high, I'm not surprised to see this. At a 45.2% win rate over 50 games later, you can increase that to a 50.6%, so that's a 5.4% increase. And if you haven't noticed, Qiyana, unlike others, even after her 5.4% increase, she's barely touching that 50% mark, so I'm not too sure if she's worth the effort compared to other champions, but hey, at least you know, the better you get, the more you'll win. At number 7, we have Lissandra, and unlike the rest of this list, I can attest to Lissandra as a Lissandra main, and you know, her scaling definitely can be felt as you play more and more games with her. On the surface level, it might feel simple to play her, but her E and her positioning can be used in a variety of situations. Are you going to use it to get in, get out? Are you going to ult yourself and play the controller role? Or are you going to ult the ADC and assassinate someone? Are you going to burst, you know? Are you going to slow down the enemies? There's a lot to her kit, and different ways to play her come from the different situations that's going to happen. Lissandra at a 49.9% win rate increases to 55.5% after 50 games, which is a 5.6% increase in her win rate. Now, from here on out, the list gets better and the increase gets way more drastic. At number 8, this guy is going to be the first one to break the 5% mark, Aurelion Soul. I'm not very surprised to see this. This guy is an early roaming style champion, but if done wrong, that early roaming is just going to lead to feeding and, you know, you're going to have a horrible mid game. You gotta get snowballing, and every single one of his abilities has to be used right. Now, don't get me wrong, in retrospect, if you just play by the lane, play by the books, keep things safe, you won't do bad at him. He's at a 49.4% win rate, higher than a lot of other champions. However, after 50 games, if you put in the work, you will reach a 55.8% win rate for a total of a 6.4% difference, the first guy to break the 5% mark, and you know what? I completely understand it. At number 9, the champion we have here is actually Ivern, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm super surprised to see this. That's absolutely huge. Ivern is labeled as a B tier jungler at the moment. You know, nothing super crazy, nothing super bad. He is not exactly played a lot, and he has a very weird playstyle, just to be fair. His normal win rate is at a 50.6%. Not too bad, pretty balanced, right? But after 50 games, after putting in the work, you will actually hit 57.7% win rate. That is a 7% difference. Can you just imagine, man, like if you play Ivern right now and you've never played him, after 50 games and actually trying to learn, you will on average win 7% more games. That is nuts. I love to see it. At number 10, last but not least, this one did take me off guard. It's actually Karthus. So Karthus, you know, he's been in a weird spot the past few patches. I never expected to see him as a jungler or ADC, but that's where we are right now. And if you want me to be completely transparent, I don't have an explanation. I don't know why Karthus has such a big disparity with skill, but it is what it is, and I'm going to tell you the numbers. At a 50.2% win rate, he ain't doing that bad. But after 50 games, you hit a 58.1% win rate. What? That is a 7.8% difference, almost 8%. After 50 games playing Karthus, you will increase your win rate by almost 8%. That is mind-blowing. But yeah, there you have it. Those are the 10 champions that increase the most after 50 games. And before you go into the comments and type, where is my Yasuo? Where is my Riven? I want to show you guys a few more statistics here. Someone like Riven has a 48.7% win rate that scales up to a 51.4%. So after 50 games, she only increases by 2.7%. Someone like Yasuo, he only increases by 1.1%, and someone like Lee Sin only increases by 1.1%. And you know what? As someone who mains Lee Sin and Yasuo, it is kinda sad to see that my skill can barely increase after 50 games, but in retrospect, there are certain champions that have a high skill cap for different reasons. The champions we listed are specifically over 50 games. Someone like Riven, for example, it can take much more than 50 games, and sometimes we just never see that player improve past a certain point. There's a big difference between like you know, a Riven main and box, right? That's just the truth. And I think scalability comes with a lot more than just knowledge on very heavily mechanical champions such as Lee Sin and Riven. But that's only my 2 cents. The numbers don't lie, and personally, I'm pretty surprised by a lot of this. Let me know what you guys think though in the comments down below. If you guys do enjoy the content, and if you enjoyed this video, maybe hit that like button and consider subscribing. But most importantly, go down into the comments and leave feedback. I've been reading a lot of your support, and the transition has went the best that we could ask for, but we're not quite there yet. We need to bring new content, unique content. We have to expand the channel. There's still a lot to do, a lot of work under our belt. So feel free to leave any feedback in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.